What is going on, everybody? What is going on? This is Caleb Harris, back at it again with another video. Please like, share, subscribe, and also, man, let me know what you think in the comment section. You're liking the content, you're not liking the content. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alright, man, let's get right into it, man. Today's video is how to stop being so nice, aka how to set boundaries, how to stop being a people pleaser. You know, how to stand in your masculine frame. Before I even say that, man, let's just ease the air. Let's just calm everything down real quick for a minute, right? Before I just start to pick everything up. Hold on a second. All right, so before I'm going to get into my video, let me just say this. These videos are not meant to hurt you. They're not meant to harm you. I'm doing this because I care about you. Here in the West, right? I've noticed that here in the West, a lot of men don't like confrontation. A lot of men try to avoid confrontation. A lot of men think if I'm just really, really nice to her or everybody else around her, then they'll get that promotion. That, you know, they'll get respect from that woman. But I hate to tell you the truth, from my own personal experience as someone who was always nice all the time, I still have to tell myself every single day, nope, that ain't gonna fly for me, Jack. I can't do this. So I'm saying this because I want to help you, not to harm you. I understand that many of you have a lot of unprocessed trauma. Many of you were taught a couple of things through childhood. Many of you probably saw your dad or your mom, you know, overreacting, flipping tables, yelling and screaming. So you were probably taught unknowingly that, you know, in order to keep the peace around this house, right? In order to keep the peace around this house, in order for me to get love and receive love continuously over and over and over again, here's what I need to do. Shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't rock the boat. Here's what happened. You see, in your childhood, I just explained to you how that happened. So now all the way into your adulthood, you doing the same thing. You know, I'm not going to say anything at my job, right? I'm just going to, you know, not handle any confrontation. I don't want to be confrontational. I don't want to be the bad guy, which the truth is this, you're not being a bad person. You're not being mean. You're not being rude. It's just, you never learn, right? Peep game. You never learn how to stand up for yourself, which is okay. You never learn how to stand up for yourself because you were always taught to say yes, 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 and yes. But you were never taught how to just say no. I mean, even as a man of God, right? I read this Bible every day, and it always surprises me how much information I get. Now, if you're a Christian, you're a Christian. You're not, you're not. I'm not going to preach religion to anybody. I just want to sit down here, talk straight talk like a man, right? Straight talk like a man, okay? Here's the way that I look at it. As a man, I do believe that a man should be dominant. He should be masculine. But most importantly, he should be fair, kind, and I don't like what I'm saying right there. Start that over. I got it, though. So here's what I believe, right? The Bible does say right in here in the book of James to let your yes be yes and your no be no, okay? Yes, there's times to speak up, and there's times to be quiet. Yes, there's times to be gentle, but there's also times to be firm. You see, what you need to do is this. You need to discern. So I'm going to give you an example to break this down as abundantly clear as I possibly can. I've had situations before, right? I remember I used to go to a church, and I was just so bitter and angry and resentful, right? Because I knew I didn't want to be there. So I would try to over spiritualize it. I tried to avoid the conflict altogether with the youth pastor there, a former friend of mine. And I was just dealing with things like racial comments as a black man in a predominantly white church. I wasn't feeling that. I'll be real with you. I wasn't feeling that. But I said, you know what? I'll just not ruffle any feathers. I'll just play along. And, you know, this is God's, you know, God's way of, what's the words I'm looking for? This is my trial. This is my tribulation. That's what I mean to say. I need to just be patient, stand firm in the faith, read the word of God, whatever the case may be. But here's what I was learning how to do. I was learning how to be a people pleaser, right? I was continuing to learn how to be a people pleaser. This is the reason why I started to tell people, like, look, listen, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not going here anymore. I'm not going over there anymore. This is why I had to do this, because I started realizing instead of just ghosting people, many of you have a bad problem with ghosting people because you don't know how to handle confrontation. This is what I've learned about a lot of men. Instead of just saying, hey, this is what happened, X, Y, and Z, you will not have the confrontation. Now, don't mishear me. I will say this. Not every conversation needs to be had. Some things are just a miscommunication. Now, going back to my story. I'm saying this, right? I'm at this church. I don't like it here. I freaking hate it here. And I'm trying to over-spiritualize everything. What I should have done is, number one, my friend told me, hey, I want you to come to this church. From the jump, I should have just told him, no, I'm not going. But because I wanted to over-spiritualize things and pray on things, I made it more complicated. Now, I know what you're thinking. As a Christian man or a man of God or a man of faith, you're probably sitting down here thinking, well, listen, Caleb, aren't we supposed to pray? The Bible says to trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean upon your own understanding. So why are you telling me that I could just make my own decisions? Here's the problem. You are experiencing religious trauma, okay? Religious trauma suffers from the religious spirit because you've gone through so many experiences through your own childhood. So you don't want to upset any religious leaders because you've been taught, as I said earlier, to not upset your parents. When mom and dad was angry, you were taught, don't make them unhappy, because you don't want to get punched, you don't want to get abused, you don't want to get food, right? You want to eat, right? So, okay, make your parents happy, make sure that they're good. And, you already know what happened. They was always pissed off anyway. So you did all this people pleasing for no reason. And the truth is this, you can't make these religious leaders happy. I can tell you right now from experience, I tried to make people happy my whole entire life when I was younger. And as I turned around 27, 28, and I'm 30 right now, I can openly and honestly tell you right now, if I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. And I'm not going to sit down here and say, oh, well, the Spirit told me this, the Spirit told me that. No. Caleb Harris said, I'm not doing that because I don't want to. And honestly, one thing you got to understand is this. No does mean no. So that was just, a little bit of a straight talk of an intro, you know what I'm saying? I still got my man notes, you feel? But the thing about it, this is what I had to learn, right? As someone who used to be nice, as someone who used to be a people pleaser, as someone who had to walk around eggshells around both my mom and my dad, this is what I realized. Set boundaries and clear intentions. And no, this does not mean go be a jerk and just say, F you this, F you that. I'm not doing this. Go F yourself. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. Shut the F up. I'm not saying that at all. I'm a man of God. I'm a man of principle. As I said before, the book of James says this, let your yes be yes and your no be no, okay? The reason why I mention this scripture is because so many of us as men, we're so unclear, we're up and down, we're not right here at a consistent level. You feel what I'm saying? So here's what we end up doing. We end up getting taken advantage of. We end up giving women mixed signals. We end up giving our boss mixed signals. And we end up getting fired. We end up being put in the brother zone. I ain't even saying the friend zone. You ain't even getting put in no friend zone. You getting put in the brother zone. So if your woman say, this my brother in Christ, she don't like you like that no more, fam. She don't. She don't like you like that no more, fam. I'm going to tell you the reason why. You're too nice. You're too nice. You believe because you've probably been taught by your mom, right? Or you've seen this with your dad. Your dad would sleep on the couch, or, your dad was trained, hey, look, listen, we're having an argument here. I'll just step down and I'll just go work out the shed. I'll just go do some more hours at the job. I'll try to avoid all conflict. I'll make my family happy, right? Happy wife, happy life, right? I'm going to make my family happy by buying them a bunch of materialism so they can shut up and they can accept me for who I am. I'm going to tell you what the issue with that is. The issue when you always go around avoiding confrontation, not expressing how you feel, not expressing your feelings and emotions, okay? I'm going to tell you the truth. You're going to blow up on people. Now, I will say this. When you set boundaries and clear intentions, don't expect people to receive it. Don't expect people to rock with it. Don't expect people, when you're expressing yourself to somebody, don't expect people to agree with it. I remember there's been two situations I had about a couple years ago. I confronted a youth pastor and I confronted his mom and her little sidekick. They was trying to manipulate me. I believe they were trying to manipulate me spiritually, and I stood up to all three of them. They thought I was crazy. They thought I was going through something spiritual. And for a minute, I believed it. And then I took me some time to rest. I said, I wasn't going through nothing spiritual. I just don't agree with the way they do Christianity, which is a whole other realm within itself because, let's be real, there's over about 30, 40,000 different denominations here in the United States alone. Okay? I'm not even talking about other countries. But it's all these different denominations. So who's lying? Who telling the truth? I'm going to tell you what I believe. I'm a non-denominational Christian. I believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. You have to get baptized in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. If you mess up or you screw up, you need to repent daily, okay? And most importantly, just do your best to follow God. And the fifth point I believe in is have accountability and a community around you to sharpen you, to mold you, and to shape you into being a holistic, to shape you and mold you into being a holistic man of God. Okay, so you're not walking around here passive. So you're not walking around here too nice. So you could assert yourself in dates. So you could tell this woman, like, okay, little woman, we ain't gonna be talking all day. Like, I'm talking to somebody right now. I tell her, like, listen, this is what I do. I put choosing your freedom, God's purpose, above her. Yes. And she understands that because she's in ministry herself. And we was having a conversation. Yeah, we was having a conversation. And, you know, we was talking about, you know, distractions, right? And I was and I'm not going to say all that. So here's the thing about it. When it comes to setting clear boundaries and expectations, I'll use myself as an example. I'm talking to a young lady. I think she's pretty cool. I think she's pretty cute. She got it going on, if you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna go into too much detail because you know how them Christian folk be. Oh, that's just, brother, you're doing too much, brother. I was like, man, shut up and go be a man with your goofy looking self. Boy, what's wrong with you now? Well, yeah. Yeah, just setting those clear boundaries and those clear expectations. I tell her, like, we're not gonna be having no long conversation Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? Like on Sundays, Sunday night, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Hey, look, listen, that's the recovery meetings. If I believe that the day gonna be very long, I send her a voice note to check in on her, to pray for her. I check in with her throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? Just keep that open communication. And I'll be honest with you, there was a side of me that was a little bit nervous. Like, oh man, I think I'm doing too much. I'm being too assertive. I'm being a toxic male. I'm not being no toxic male. I'm just being a man. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. And, you know, I could go on such a big spiel on this about how men and women, their energies are all off and clashing against each other because man ain't walking in his masculine and woman is walking around not in her feminine. You know, we can blame feminism, cultural differences, abuse, trauma, betrayal trauma, religious trauma. The list goes on and on and on. But for the sake of time and because I know I don't want y'all sitting down here watching these videos to hear me rant all doggone day, so I got to get to the point. When you're setting clear boundaries and intentions, remember, people will think you're the bad guy, but you're not the bad guy. You're just not tolerating disrespect. I'm going to say that again. When you are setting clear expectations and boundaries, you are not the bad guy. You're just being a man. You just want respect. That's it. And yeah, you can't avoid confrontation. I've tried it. There's just some things in life are just like, look, listen, I'm not arguing about no political, social, economic stuff. But look, listen, like I have no problem getting into a confrontation with the waiter if my food is the wrong way. If I believe that a brother or sister in Christ disrespected me and said something to me that I didn't like, I have no problem pulling that person to the side and be like, hey, look, listen, I didn't like the way you said that to me. Okay, I got no problem with that. And that's how you have to be as a man. You have to be like, look, listen, I'm not tolerating no disrespect. Okay? And I can tell some of you are going to watch this video back and be like, oh, well, what's Caleb talking about? Is he telling me just to be this rude, aggressive, and mean person? No, I'm not telling you to be like that at all. What I'm saying is this. I'm saying be firm, be dominant, be masculine, stand up for yourself. Don't let people just push you around and not confront it. Pull that person to the side and be like, hey, look, listen, you said X, Y, and Z to me. What did you mean by that? Because 9 times out of 10, most confrontations, from what I've seen in my personal experience, could really get resolved, right? They could really get resolved with one reason and one reason only: communication, okay? If they communicated how they felt, if they communicated what was going on, the situation would be a lot better. But a lot of people do not know how to effectively communicate how they feel. So what ends up happening is that, well, what always happens? What always happens when people don't know how to communicate? unnecessary conflict, unnecessary and meaningless confrontations that lead to no resolution, or people start resorting to violence. And I'm not a violent guy. Like, listen, I'll talk to you. I'll have a conversation with you. You know, that's what I want to do in my life. Let's have a conversation. Let's create a dialogue. That's what I think we should be doing. And point number 2, and as you're already going to notice, all of my points all intertwine. The common themes you're going to start realizing is this: saying no, setting boundaries, being clear, learning when and where. The common themes you're going to see is this, right? Learning to say no, setting boundaries and expectations, being clear about your intentions, and most importantly, learning how to discern. Is this just going to be unnecessary conflict and just an unnecessary argument? Because I only argue to resolve the conflict. If we have to walk away, then we'll just walk away. Because if we're not getting anywhere, we're just not getting anywhere. And that's okay. Conflict resolution is not all about I need to get my way, right? But conflict resolution is not about just being a people pleaser either. Like, y'all got to probably meet in the middle ground. Because when you're doing business, you'll know that. Anybody who's a business owner knows you don't always get your way 100%. It just doesn't happen. You got to make a compromise. You got to do follow-up meetings. You got to do this. You got to do that. That's what you have to do. So my second point is this, right? If you don't want to do it, just say no. I see this a lot with Christian men. Christian men will be in like 4 or 5 different ministries. Christian men will do all these things for the church, then get pissed off at the church for not being acknowledged. For me, myself, like, well, listen, I don't do a lot for my church. Like, I own Choosing Your Freedom. This is a life coaching and recovery coaching business. I've got my hands full, man. I'm up from 5 in the morning. No exaggeration. I am up from 5 in the morning and I'm closing shop around 9 p.m. You understand? I am sitting down here and I am busy, meditating, praying, connecting with clients, reaching out to find clients. And I still, I got a woman that I'm talking to. So I got to keep in contact with her. I got to keep in contact with the woman of God, because the woman of God, she pretty funny, man. I can't lie to her, man. She is pretty funny. She be like, oh, man of God, why haven't you called? Why haven't you texted? She going to be on her, brother. It's like that song from Rich Boy, throw some D's on it. Do you love me? Do you call me? Are you going to call like you said you would? Is this really your real phone number? Man, I don't listen to a lot of worldly music no more, but that line was hilarious, bro. It was hilarious because, there's a lot of women out there like that. Like, women want to know, where do I stand? Where are we? Are you keeping me? This is what's going on. That's what's going on. A lot of y'all, this is going to rub y'all the wrong way, but you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Just sit down and chill out, because you got to be challenged as a man. You got to do it, baby. I've gone through the challenge. You're going to go through it too. Pimp, you got to understand something. Understand one thing and one thing only. Women will always challenge a man. I don't want to go on that rant, so we're going to say something else. We'll do that a little bit later. Let's start that whole thing over. I don't like that. All right, man. So point number 2 is this, man. If you don't want to do it, just say no. Many of us will go around here people pleasing for our church. I said what I said. People pleasing for our church. Sitting down here, jumping in ministry to ministry to ministry. Instead of just telling these people, no, I ain't doing it. Look here now. Choosing Your Freedom is my ministry / business. This is what keeps me preoccupied. I may or may not have time. I may or may not have time. And if I don't got time for it, I don't feel bad about it. Because at the end of the day, look here now. If I can't do it, I can't do it. I told these people straight up, this is what I did. As I was saying before, setting clear intentions and boundaries. I told them when I was going to become a greeter, I said, hey, look, listen, I can only do this about 1 to 2 times a month. Okay? They asked me to do the Christmas service. I told them no. And I'll be real with you. There was still a side of me that felt as if I had to explain myself to them. I had to explain myself to them. No, I did. I didn't explain the doggone thing. I'm going to tell you why I didn't have to explain the doggone thing. I didn't have to explain the doggone thing because at the end of the day, if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it. One thing that I'm seeing a lot with Christian men, right? Christian men are struggling with boy syndrome, okay? The scripture clearly says it. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child. When I became a man, I put childish things behind me. You understand? And I've been seeing that. A lot of men have, what's the words I'm looking for? A lot of men have a problem, right? They have a real huge issue putting childish things behind them. This has nothing to do with playing video games, nothing to do with playing basketball with the fellas, you know, but it's really just about setting boundaries, setting intentions. Like, you don't need to be playing video games all night. But like, let's be honest, you got your work done, you got everything you need to get accomplished, and you just want to unwind, right? You just want to unwind, you just want to relax. So yeah, man, play some video games for about a couple hours, but don't stay up till like 12 in the morning when you know you got to get to work at like 5 or you got to get to work at 9. Like, you got to have some time to yourself. At least this is what I've been doing, right? I take like the first 30 minutes of the day, you know, to like go to the gym. No, not that. I take the first 30 minutes of the day to do the following, right? I'll journal. You know, what else do I got over here? I'll read the Bible. And most importantly, I'll read some affirmations, man. Because the way that you start your day, dictates how the day is going to be. I'm going to say that again. The way you start your day is going to dictate how your day is going to be. Many of us just procrastinate. We got bad hurts, we got bad hang-ups, we suffer with laziness, and just in general as men, we just need to learn how to get our stuff together. I'm just being real. So I got this notepad, man. I wasn't going to just sit down here and ramble on and on and on about nothing. I said, you know what? Today is Wednesday. It's time for me to record content. Did I want to record content? No, not really. Actually, I never really want to record content. Sometimes I hate talking to this camera. But I stopped whining and complaining and making excuses and just said, you know what? I got time. I might as well make it happen. But going back to the point I said of just say no. Stop telling people yes when you really mean no. Now, what do I mean by that? Stop telling people yes when you really mean no. Here's what I mean, man. For example, I wanted to go into ministry, okay? I wanted to be a greeter. You understand? I wanted to be a greeter. But I knew doggone well I wasn't going to greet every Sunday. It wasn't going to happen. Because I didn't want to. And I don't have to. But what I've been realizing is that many of you guys that I've talked to and I've coached and just being an observer, you're trying to get this love and attention and affection that you did not get when you was a kid. And you're trying to get it from a church. That's the main reason why so many men be leaving the church. That's the reason why a lot of people leave the church. I'll be honest with you. That church ain't going to really love you like that, probably. To be honest with you. That church is probably not going to love you like that. Because after a while, you got to sit down here and just be like, okay, look, listen, they hurt me. They abandoned me. They took advantage of me. They really did me dirty. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. They really did me very dirty. But here's the thing. What am I going to do moving forward? You understand? Am I going to keep going to church? Right? Am I going to keep going to church? Am I going to still read the Bible? Am I still going to believe in God? What actually happened? How could I have addressed the situation so these things don't keep happening over and over and over again? Because people are going to ask you to do things, and you can't just run away and hide from them. We was talking about this in a recovery meeting. Stand firm. Say no. Okay? What can you do? This is the reason why a lot of y'all get burnt out. It's because a lot of y'all be saying, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. And you know, in the back of your mind, you said, nope, I can't do it. And you tell them, hey, look, listen, I cannot do this. So we'll use an example. Let's just say Billy Joe. Billy Joe says, hey, man, I need you to walk my dog. Can you walk my dog for me? And you are like, oh, man, yeah, I can walk your dog. Yeah, I can walk your dog. And then as soon as you say, can I walk your dog? He brings his dog to you and just like, oh, dang it. Why did I do that? I don't want to walk this guy's dog. Like, I got all this stuff I got to do. You should have just said no. But I'm going to tell you the reason why you did not say no. The reason why you didn't say no is because you were afraid of rejection, which I'm going to get into a little bit later, just not right now. But you were so afraid of being rejected. You were so afraid that Billy Joe would never talk to you ever again. So you basically had all these mental gymnastics up in your head. And you decided, you know what? If I just tell him yes, he'll still like me. Can I tell you the truth? Let me tell you the truth. Come here. Let me just tell you the truth right now. He's still going to like you. He's still going to like you, man. You know, if you're not a jerk, if you're not mean or rude, well, if you're mean or rude and a jerk, he's not going to like you. But, you know, from your perspective, you're probably a very kind individual. But unfortunately, sometimes you're just too nice because you don't know how to tell people no, and you don't set boundaries and clear expectations. You're going to hear that a lot throughout this video. Boundaries, no, clear intentions, and expectations. You got to take care of yourself. If you don't want to walk somebody's dog, just tell them no. Like, I remember when I was younger, man, I used to suffer with people pleasing so much. I was telling people no. I wasn't telling people no. I was telling people yes. I was telling people yes all the doggone time. And the truth is this, I want to tell them no. So when I was in active addiction, right? When I was in active addiction, I was smoking, drinking, taking drugs to numb out all this stuff. You know, and a woman would be like, hey, come over. Yeah, I'm going to come over. I don't want to go over there, you know. And then, you know, when I would do all these nice things for a woman and she didn't do nice things for me, I would be resentful, bitter, angry, nasty, even hostile, you know what I'm saying? Cuss her out, stuff like that. Now, thank God I don't do this stuff no more, but all because you're doing all these things for a woman, it doesn't mean that she has to do these things back for you, okay? You gotta, as I said before, you gotta be firm on things, okay? Like, as I said before, you know, when I'm talking to women now, in general, as the woman I'm talking to right now, let me start that over. So you got to be firm on things, right? You have to be firm on things, okay? Understand this, all because you're going above and beyond for this woman and doing things that she never asked you to do. Remember that. You're doing things that she never asked you to do. Why are you doing that? But why are you doing that? And it's the issue with so many of you as men when it comes to dating and relationships, workforce, you know, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Parasocial relationships, basic friendships and things like that. You are expecting you in other people, which is your problem. Stop expecting you in other people because you're going to get yourself messed up every single time. I know I'm talking to you. I know I'm talking to you now. My brother, I know I'm talking to you now. I'm telling you, I know I'm talking to you. You got to sit down here and you got to be firm. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. If it goes against God, and not even just that, look, listen, if it goes against God, obviously don't do it. But I'm just breaking it down like this. Hey, man, if you just don't want to do something, you don't always got to run everything by God and over spiritualize everything. If you want to do something, get out and go do it. Go do it. You know, if you want to date that woman, go take her out on a date. Okay, if you want to quit your job, go quit your job. If you want to start a new job, go start a new job. If you want to start that business, start that business. Now is not the time. See, this is the issue that y'all got to understand. 2025 can no longer be the year of inaction. You cannot be inactive. You need to be active. Your problem is that you are inactive. And the more and more that you are inactive, the more and more that you are not going to see your goals being accomplished. It's as simple as that. So we're going to get into point number 3, man. Point number 3 I got over here is ask for what you want. That's it. Stop assuming things. Ask for what you want. I seen this with so many men today, man. There ain't nothing wrong with being quiet and introverted. Like, I'm a quiet, introverted guy, right? But I realized as a 30-year-old man who lives by himself, you know what I'm saying, I got to ask for what I want. Okay, like here in this apartment building, I'll be real with you, man. I didn't like the laundry situation. I don't know what happened, but the laundry situation was jacked up. So I said, no, we gotta do something different over here. This ain't gonna work for me. I didn't call. I sent them an email. And I said, you know, if I don't hear nothing back in the next 2 days, I'm going to go down to the leasing office myself And I'm going to say, hey, look, listen, can I talk to somebody? Because I need to know what's going on with this laundry situation. And I just made a complaint because at the end of the day, it's all this trash running around. So what they going to do about that? I don't plan on staying here for too much longer, if I'm being honest. I'll probably stay here for about, I signed a lease for another year. And then, you know, I'm going to just go from there, to be honest with you. After that, I'm going to just go from there. Because at the end of the day, look, listen, I don't need to be stressing myself out if things are not changing. And I've been saying, change this, change that. And I'm seeing nothing getting fixed. I'm either going to have to fix it myself or I'm going to do something differently. However, what I'm trying to say with this point, when I say ask for what you want, when I'm talking about ask for what you want, I want to get things resolved, okay? It's just with a woman, you know, I'll use myself for an example. There's a woman that I like. I mentioned a little bit earlier. I think she's pretty cool. I think she's pretty cute. So I decided, you know what? I want to go on a date with her. So I asked. So we're going on a date this Saturday. Okay, it's an example. We're going on a date this Saturday, and we'll see. We'll see where we goes from there. But at the end of the day, I'm asking for what I want. I want to get to know this woman. I have to ask her questions. I have to get to know her. I have to do these kind of things. You have to woo her. Okay, you have to put in an effort. So many of y'all as men be thinking that you don't got to put in an effort, and it's like that's the reason why you keep on struggling. It's the reason why you keep on struggling, man of God. That's the reason why, as you young folks say, what y'all call it? Y'all call it Riz. That's the reason why. That's the reason why your Riz is struggling, because you're not standing up for yourself. You're not being clear. You're giving her mixed signals and mixed vibes, and she's just like, I don't know about this brother. And when a woman don't know about you, look here, this is what I'm going to tell you. When a woman don't know about you and you're not leading her, you're not communicating with her, you're not asking those deep level questions, everything is just so surface level. This is what you need to do. You got to start asking deeper questions, you know. Ask deeper questions. I asked her what she did for a living, right? I asked her how she handles confrontation, okay? Like I said, I've just been feeling her out, you know, and I'm still asking her questions. I'm not going to reveal all the questions that I asked her, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know, this is what helps me out a lot to learn about a woman. This right here. And I just sit back, I listen in, I actively listen, and I just take mental notes, right? I just take mental notes, man. That's what I be doing. But at the end of the day, here's the way that I be looking at it, man. The way I look at it is like this. Put in an effort. Okay, if you want something, go after it, right? Like I said, I want my body to be in better shape. I'm just being honest. I want my body to be in a lot better shape. So I'm going to the gym every morning. Well, not every morning, but 3 days a week, you know, and I just been lifting weights. You know, sometimes my form's been good. Sometimes my form's been bad, but people have no problem. You know, if you got to call me out on it, call me out on it. Just be respectful. But at the end of the day, here's the way I look at it. I want to improve my life, right? I want to improve my social skills. I want to improve my skills as a coach. So I have to do the work that I don't want to do, but I have to ask questions. No one is just going to come find Caleb Harris and be like, hey, Caleb, we're going to give you everything that you want and what you're looking for. Because can't nobody read my mind. And this is the issue with a lot of men, is that a lot of men be thinking that everybody can read their mind. I used to struggle with this myself. That's the reason why I made this video, number one. And number two, that's the reason why I started learning that, you know, you got to get in confrontation. Confrontation doesn't always have to be violent. Confrontation, the main goal of confrontation is to establish a resolution. You understand? The moment that you establish a resolution is that the moment that you establish a resolution, that is how you make things happen with your life. Establish resolution, okay? Simple as that. It's as simple as that. I'm going to say that part over. You see, the main goal of conflict, right, is to find a resolution. Now, the resolution that you're looking for, it isn't always going to be the best, right? It ain't going to always be the best outcome. But I always tell myself, okay, this could happen, that could happen. But I detach myself from outcomes, man. Like, you know, if I ask a woman out, I got to detach myself from the outcome. She may say yes, she may say no. Okay? Number two, if I ask my job for a promotion, they may say yes, they may say no, but it's my responsibility to prove my worth to them. So the issue with a lot of y'all as men is that y'all think y'all don't got to prove nothing to nobody. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, boy. Don't matter if you a man of God or not. You have to prove your value. And a lot of y'all be sitting down here thinking that, oh, I don't have to do anything. I just don't have to do anything, man. I'm just going to lay back in the cut, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason why a lot of men always wondering, like, why so many men are homeless, broke, or at this old doggone job going nowhere. It's because they don't stand up for themselves. It's reality. They don't stand up for themselves. That's just the reality. They don't stand up for themselves. I'm just being honest with you. They don't stand up for themselves. Their issue is that they don't want to handle confrontation. They don't want to get into a fight. They don't want to ruffle no feathers. They don't want to piss their boss off because the boss is having a bad day. Look, listen, the boss is always going to have a bad day here and there. Say what you got to say. And if he don't like you, look, listen, you can do what I did. I tried to have a conversation with my boss. He wasn't listening. So I told him, hey, look, listen. Again, boom. What does that represent? I gave him my resignation papers because I felt as if I was not being heard, I was not being listened to, and people want to run around here accusing me of things I didn't do. And I was like, nah, y'all got me messed up around here. Y'all got me messed up around here. Now, like I said, I done a lot of bad things in my life. I got into a lot of fights with people, had a problem with alcohol and addiction, things like that. But I knew doggone well, nope, I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm actually following God and doing what it is that I need to do. But at the end of the day, no, look, listen here now. I don't need to hold space for everybody. I don't need to do nothing I don't want to do. And I'm allowed to say no. My yes will be my yes and my no will be my no. And they was trying to get me to take a week off because he was making these little sarcastic comments. And let me give you a little sidebar. If people are undermining your worth and your value and you keep letting it happen, you deserve to get played. I said what I said. You deserve to get played. Don't you ever let nobody play in your face or behind your back like that? He wanted to make this little comment talking about Mr. Harris runs after so-and-so. I used to work as an educator in the school system. Mr. Harris runs after so-and-so. That's his job. And I was like, wow, he gonna disrespect me in front of the assistant principal like that. So I was like, okay. I see how I'm being valued here. So you want to know what happened? I was a little petty. Yeah, you go right. Your boy was a little bit petty about that. That could have been a situation, if I'm looking back at it myself, I could have handled that situation better. I will be honest with you. But the way I look at it like this, him and I, we had about a 20-minute conversation. And I told him, I confronted him. Yes, I said, look, listen, I'm not happy here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to work in education here no more. I'm done. And he said, would you like to take a week off? And I said, no. And I said, here's my resignation. And he was not happy. But, you know, at the end of the day, I got to stand for what I believe in. And I quit my job to follow my God-given purpose. You know what I'm saying? And hey, man, it is what it is. You know, people will like your decisions, and then people will not like your decisions. But at the end of the day, it's your life. It's your life. So you got to live your life. Shoot. That's the thing about manhood, man. You can't just run around here just being scared to do anything. And I was dodging a bullet, man. Them people was crazy. If you ever work in education, people in education are crazy. I'm just saying. So number 4, man, number 4 is rejection is your friend. Yes, rejection is your friend. Many of us be thinking that rejection is not our friend. Many of us be sitting down here thinking that, oh, I should never get rejected. Many of us be sitting down here thinking like, oh, well, rejection is a bad thing. Now, rejection is a good thing. Look forward to it. Okay? Rejection is a good thing. I've been denied jobs. I've been denied loans. People have looked at me crazy. Women have denied me. Yes, all these things. Going to the gym. Man, I felt rejected by them weights, man. I tried to lift as heavy as I could. Couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Just could not do it. But I said, you know what? I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on pushing. I'm going to keep on making things happen. As they say, I'm going to keep on keeping on. You understand? I'm going to keep on keeping on. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, I got to move forward instead of backwards in life. One thing I learned about being sober, man, you got to be resilient. You got to be resilient out here. Like, your story is your story, right? Whatever happened to you, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I just want to wake you up real quick. Whatever happened in your life, right? You can turn it around. Yes, you can. You can turn it around. It'll take you some time. Oh, it'll take you some time now. I ain't gonna lie to you. It'll take you some time. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for turning your life around. This is the issue with today's man today. Today's man does not want to turn his life around. Today's man wants to make a lot of excuses. Today's man is always blaming women, the job market, money, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, oh my goodness, I gotta hear this old whiny, crybaby bullcrap again. I don't want to hear it no more, Lord. And I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, somebody gotta tell you the truth. When you keep complaining about the same thing over and over again, people are gonna go out of their way to avoid you. That's why you probably heard you're just not a team player anymore. That's the reason why you're not getting those promotions. That's the reason why people don't want you to be a leader of their company. You don't exhibit characteristics of grit, attitude, perseverance, and determination. And you can't even look nobody in the eyes. Especially a lot of us as black men. Yeah, I'm going to talk about us as black men. We got to step up out here. I'm so sick of all these doggone women feeling as if they got to obtain a masculine role because a man don't know how to operate in his masculine. So now you got these hyper-masculine women running around. You know, I had a situation like that with a woman before. And that's why I said, you know what? Nah, I got to start taking the lead because I feel as if she's thinking that, you know, she the man in this relationship. And that's not it. You know, that's not it, baby. That is not it. I'm the man in this relationship. I wear the pants here. Now, I'm no traditionalist. I'm not a traditionalist. But here's the way I look at life. A man should be a leader. Okay? This does not mean women shut up and get in that kitchen and make me a sandwich. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying is that the man got to be the leader. He got to be the one being a spiritual leader in the household. He got to be the one praying. He got to be the one doing the checking up. He got to be the one, hey, well, what kind of prayer request do you need, woman of God? Okay, look here now. He has to be that leader in the household. And if he's not the leader in the household, look, listen, it's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. It won't work out. I'm sorry. It's not going to work out. Don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you, man. It's not going to work out. Not going to work out with that woman, fellas. It is not going to work out with that woman at all. Fellas, it's not going to work out with that woman. I'm going to tell you the truth because you ain't standing on your square. You not following God. You too afraid of conflict. Conflict is a good thing. Rejection is a good thing. Confrontation is a good thing. These are the things that I'm learning. Listen, man, you got to do what you got to do out here. Don't let people punk you around and mess you up and nothing like that. Stand firm. Stand firm on what you believe in. Okay? Accept that rejection is a part of life. Okay? All because you was rejected here, that don't mean you can't get rejected there. Keep on going. Keep on trying. Hustle. 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 Make things happen out here, man. Make it happen. That's what you got to do. Make it happen. So that's all I got for tonight, man. Take care. God bless. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, man, peace with 2 fingers.